Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. On this page, I talk about technology and money. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm glad the algorithm brought you here. And if you're returning, I'm glad that you are back. And if you're tuning in and watching this from the future, please consider liking, sharing, and liking the video, sharing the video, and also subscribing to the channel. So liking and sharing the video does two things. Number one, it helps this content reach more people. It tells the algorithm that you find this content, that you enjoy the content, you find it engaging. So it helps the content reach more people. And then number two, it helps me, it encourages me to keep going. And then subscribing to the channel, make sure you don't miss a thing. So yeah, I wanted to take a moment before I get into today's topic, and welcome to the folks on TikTok. So I'm live on YouTube and I'm also live on TikTok. So if you're joining from TikTok, I'll be sharing my screen I will be sharing my screen on YouTube for today's topic. I got several things I'm going to share. So if you want to see what I'm sharing, come over to the YouTube live. It's the same name, so you won't miss a thing. And so I wanted to take a moment to thank all the Cash Apps and folks who have been sending Cash Apps and encouragement and emails and asking questions. It really does help. You help keep the channel going, okay? So today's topic, y'all. Today's topic, I want to do, and good afternoon to everyone on TikTok and also on YouTube. So today I want to talk about and do an update on some tech news. So Black Girls Code, Kimberly Bryant, her lawsuit, what's going on with the organization based on the news that has been coming out over the past week. So I've already done 2 videos on what's going on with Black Girls Code, Kimberly Bryant, and her lawsuit. So I'll be sure to leave those videos in the description box if you haven't seen those. And I may also link them up here on YouTube once the video finished processing, so you can just click a lot easier. So if you want to go back and watch those 2 videos, that I appreciate it. But today I want to talk about some updates that has been going on with her lawsuit, with the organization, and just some things that I have noticed. Now, the interesting thing is, number one, why am I so interested in this topic? Why am I following it so closely? Okay, that's first of all. I work in tech. I've worked in tech for over 19 years. I've done videos about that. I'm a registered nurse working in tech. But one reason I'm so interested in this topic is because she is a Black woman who works in STEM as well. She's an engineer. I believe she was a mechanical engineer who started an organization to fix the pipeline problem, right? Because they always say there's a pipeline problem, which we know has been disproven, but to help get more Black and brown girls into tech, into STEM, not just tech, but also STEM careers, engineering, etc. So she was one of the first. Now, there have been several organizations started after hers, but I from what I understand, Kimberly Bryant's organization was the first to work on getting Black girls into tech, and I think her organization started in 2011. So that's one reason why I'm so interested in this topic. I have followed the organization for several years and just followed her as a person and just the advocacy work that she does. But number two, everything that's going on legally with the organization, I have not seen this before for a Black woman founder in tech to be going through what she is going through with essentially some are calling a rogue board taking over, kicking her out of her own company that she started and has had a global reach with millions of dollars in sponsorships. I haven't seen that in tech, right? So to me, it's like a precedence type situation. And welcome to those coming in on TikTok. Thank you for all of the likes. I will be sharing my screen I'm also live on YouTube, and I'm going to be sharing my screen with today's topic. So if you want to see what I'm going to be sending, what I'm going to be sharing, coming over to YouTube, the name is the same. Okay. So that's why I'm so interested in this topic. I don't think we have seen a black woman founder in tech who has started a global organization with millions of dollars in funding and just impact to communities, impact to Black and brown girls around the world, really introducing them to a career, like sustainable careers that can help perpetuate generational wealth for themselves and then also their family. So we just haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. So that's why I'm following this topic. That's why I'm so interested in this topic. Okay. So let's talk about some updates here. I'm going to share my screen. Just bear with me. So again, if you haven't watched the last two videos I did, I'll be sure to link those below. So what I have noticed is I have not seen a lot of tech news. I follow several tech news outlets. What I see is not the world, and I acknowledge that. But I have not noticed many of the mainstream tech news outlets publications that talk about this type of stuff, talking about it. That's another reason why Afrotech and TechCrunch are the two that I have seen. And then Afrotech did an exclusive interview with Kimberly Bryant last week. And here I'm going to share. All right, y'all. Let's see. Oh, and I didn't do a check. So hope everyone is having a good afternoon, both on TikTok and then also here on YouTube Live. I hope you're having a good afternoon. So hopefully y'all can see that. Okay. Hopefully you can. It is here. Let me make myself. Nope, that's too big. I'm too big. Okay, there we go. All right. So Afrotech did an update on the update and an interview with Kimberly Bryant last week. So if you don't know what's going on so far, let me just do a quick recap. So Kimberly Bryant founded Black Girls Code 2011, an organization to help encourage Black and brown girls to get into STEM careers. Okay, they do like coding camps, they do a lot of advocacy. They have done things around the country of the United States. So they have done a lot of work and have really made a difference. Earlier this year, when I did the first video on this, December, January, she was suspended from the organization. Now, she was not only the founder, but she was also on the board. They had some newer board members come in. There was allegations of just bad leadership, etc. So they pushed her out. They suspended her. And then earlier this summer, they went ahead and just totally pushed her out of the organization. Okay. And there has been some allegations back and forth since then. So let's get into this Afrotech article. I believe this is the second article Afrotech has done, but they actually interviewed her, and it says Black, and I'll be sure to leave a link to the article in the description if you have not read it, because I'm not going to read it word for word. I'm just going to hit some points. Okay. So Black Girls Code founder Kimberly Bryant shares her side of the story after being removed as the CEO. Okay. Again, this is just something we don't see that often. And can y'all see that? Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger. That better? Ooh, that's a little bit too big. Okay. That should be a little bit more accessible. Get rid of that ad there. So she goes on. She's the founder, talks about her being founder of the program that champions younger Black and brown girls. And she says, I think it's important for us to own our own stories as Black people and how we build. It's not lost on me the fact that the organization that I founded and the organizational leadership that dismissed me from the organization that I created is utilizing a fully white PR firm, white law firm, to take down, if you will, another Black woman as a founder, end quote. Now, here's the interesting thing about the board from the last time I checked. I believe everyone on the board right now of BCG are Black or Black or brown descent. Okay. And last time I checked, I believe they all were. Okay. So she talks about how it's caused her some pain. Why she founded the organization out of love for her daughter. She said this really was a project built from love and my desire to make a better pathway for all Black girls to be innovators and creators, because I know how difficult the path was for me as a Black woman in a STEM field that was male dominated, end quote. So welcome to the folks just coming in on TikTok. I'm also live on YouTube and I'm sharing my screen. We're talking about Kimberly Bryant, Black Girls Code, and some new updates from the organization, about the organization and her lawsuit from the past like week or two. So what happened? So like I said, she was removed as both the CEO and a board member of the company after 8 months after being indefinitely suspended. So that's what I was talking about. Remember, like December, January, like right around the holidays. That was, you know what? And that was so interesting about that. They pushed her out, suspended her like right around the holidays. I think it was the time between like Christmas and New Year's. And, you know, most folks aren't checking for like big news and things like that around that time of the year, because that's the time of the year a lot of, if you work in tech, I like, for example, the tech company I work at, the holidays is the time of year where just a lot of things slow down, or they don't slow down, they come completely to a halt, because, you know, people take time for themselves, time for their families, you know, vacation and things like that to enjoy the holidays. So August 11th, last month, she filed a federal lawsuit alleging wrongful suspension and conflict of interest by board member Heather House. Per Bryant, she was completely terminated from her role just one day later. So she filed her lawsuit, right, according to this article, August 11th, and then she was complete. So when she filed that lawsuit, I believe she was suspended still, but then the day after, according to her, she filed her lawsuit, she just got terminated. Okay, so she alleges that she has paid more than $100,000. That's a lot of money, y'all, in personal legal fees. Noted that she is back at square one with exhausting her funds due to her commitment to BCG. On the other hand, she accuses the company of using donated funds to push her out of her position as the founder. Can they do that? See, I don't know. That's a legal thing, right? Let them lawyers work. But like if funds are donated for the organization's work, can they do that? To do a lawsuit? I don't know. We will find out. Quote, my board of directors, this battle that they have waged and forced against me has spent well over $2 million of donated funds to fight and out myself as the founder of these really flimsy false allegations and specious claims, end quote. They go on to say they did. Afrotech, the journalist for this article, goes on to say that she wasn't able to speak with the Heather House, who's on the board, who chairs the board right now, but they did get the media briefing. Oh, and that's what I meant to pull up. I think it's on BCG's Twitter page, and I'll see if I can find it here in a moment. So Heather says, I have no personal animus for Kimberly. I've only been a fan of her version and wanted to see it to the best, realizing the best, largest expression possible, etc. She says she's disappointed and degrading, etc. And she said it's made the pool of people who are willing to stay accountable for their operations and future of BCG just a smaller group, end quote. So in this article, Kimberly goes on to address the allegations, and this is what I found interesting. Okay, because I knew about the lawsuit from earlier this year and that she was suspended and all of that, but I didn't know this part right here. So she says, to be specific, in my federal case, which was filed first, right? So we talked about earlier, her case was filed first on August 11th. Before I was removed from my board of directors, there are certain elements around the fraudulent activity that the board and certain members of the organization took to remove me as a fiduciary on bank accounts that belong to the organization. They did not belong to me, and I didn't make a claim that they did. But that was fraudulent use of documentation that was incorrect to compel Wells Fargo to make those changes. So that's what I was talking about in the last video, how I believe in her federal lawsuit, she calls out Wells Fargo for how the organization, not Wells Fargo, but BCG and the rogue board was able to convince the bank to give them access to her funds, the organization's funds. So she calls the move a serious affliction and noted that the allegations are included in her federal suit. Then she said she's going to amend the suit to include a claim for wrongful termination Then she says the next day I was retaliated against and removed from the board as well as my role as CEO. And she says their claims against Heather House were brought forth well before she was suspended in 2021. Let's see. She talks about how the year has been difficult. So this is what Heather House is saying. She's saying that the year has been difficult. She's saying some of that is due to ongoing false and malicious statements that Kimberly Bryant has made about her, as it always and it has always it's also been difficult to see the situation cause reputational damage to our organization that I deeply care about. But that was in an audio recording, right? So Heather House didn't just come out and say that to this publication, so I wonder who got that audio recording, y'all. Where did that come from? So maybe there must have been, and I wonder if there was like some type of board meeting and someone secretly, and that's not addressed in this article. But when I read that part about what Heather House said in this audio recording that was shared with Afrotech, I'm like, who recorded it? Who was in that? What meeting was this? Or if it wasn't an official BCG meeting, did she, have a lunch with somebody and somebody secretly recorded her and that's what I was like, ooh, where did that come from? And she goes on to say, I'm deeply disappointed that Kimberly has felt the need to attack me by making false and outrageous claims, end quote. So welcome to the folks on TikTok. We're talking about Black Girls Code, and thank you for sharing the live as well. We're talking about giving tech news, Black Girls Code, Kimberly Bryant's lawsuit, and just updates about what's going on with the organization. So there's some more claims. There were some claims that Kimberly Bryant misgendered one of the staff members. She said it was a mistake. She also goes on to say that, she is the mother of a daughter who is out. Now here was the thing. Now this is what I was looking for. So if y'all have not been to the Black Girls Code website lately, Kimberly, this was a chess move. To me, this is a chess move by Kimberly Bryant, because when the board put her out, somebody, whoever planned the coup or planned, the push out or whatever, what they did not count on was the fact that Kimberly Bryant owns her domain name, owns the domain names for Black Girls Code. So if you have not gone to the website, and this is what I did, there was a tweet, somebody tweeted about it, and I was like, what are they talking about? So I went, here we go, to the Black Girls Code website. Go to the Black Girls Code website. Oh, there's a new doodle for today. Now, if y'all remember in the last video, let me do a quick time check, because I said I didn't want to be before y'all long, because sometimes I just get to talking. Okay, good. All right, so 18 minutes. I'm going to try to be done in the next 20 minutes. Okay, so the last live I did here, let me just say, the last live I did, if y'all remember, I pulled up the Black Girls Code website and talked about, and showed it to you how pretty it was. So, I've always loved their website. It's so well designed. Okay. So, but when you go to the website now, child, let me see. Oh, here we go. What the board did not count on was Kimberly Bryant owned the URLs, right? So remember, she had filed her federal lawsuit. After she filed her federal lawsuit, they suspended her. I mean, no, she was already suspended. Then after she filed the federal lawsuit, they just went ahead and took her out totally, as CEO and all of that. But they did not count on that Kimberly Bryant owns the URLs for Black Girls Code. So some folks are saying she hijacked the website, but how can you hijack something that you actually you own the intellectual property on? That's all. I'm not for or against at this point, but I don't like how they're saying, if I own something and, I have legal ownership of that piece of property, how can you, if I take that legal piece of property and modify it to something I want to do, how can you say I hijacked the website? I don't get that. But anyway, so when you go to Black Girls Code, child, she put in a redirect. She owned the URLs, okay, the intellectual footprint. internet footprint of Black Girls Code. So when you go to the regular Black Girls Code website, it does a redirect to saveblackgirlscode.com. I was like, what? I hollered. When I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I did. So on this redirect to this website that she did, there's a sound on TikTok that I just thought of the perfect that goes along with it, but it's not appropriate, so I won't say it out loud. But it goes, gotcha, something. But anyway, so saveblackgirlscode.com. So she redirects it. She talks about her lawsuit. It's a federal lawsuit. She, puts her attorneys here, and then she basically pleads her case. So if folks say, if you were a big time donor, you didn't quite know, you just didn't know all what was going on, like business wise, because like I said, there has not been a lot of like media, to me, there hasn't been a lot of like media coverage on the regular tech news outlets, different ones that I check. I've only seen a few. So if you're an outsider and you didn't know what was going on, and you just so happened to hear of the organization or whatever, or saw somebody talking about it on social media, TikTok, Twitter, the gram, the book, and you went to blackgirlscode.com, then it's redirecting here. So in this case, she basically just explains, gives her side of the story and says Black Girls Code founder and CEO Kimberly Bryant wrongfully terminated after exoneration by investigation. And that was interesting about the investigation, because apparently, I don't want to misspeak on the investigation, but I think, anyway, I don't want to misspeak some things that I saw on social media about, so I'm going to skip over that. So basically, she's saying that the termination is an unfortunate culmination of a hostile takeover initiated by the board member Heather Howes of the nonprofit that Ms. Bryant created from the ground up, while Howes' ultimate desire to gain control of over $30 million in donated philanthropic funds. Ms. Bryant asserts that the board hired an independent investigator sometime in or around January 22 to investigate claims of a toxic work environment, including the part where Kimberly Bryant allegedly misgendered a staff member by just misgendering how they identify. The independent investigator interviewed somewhere around 26 witnesses over 8 months. And concluded in her presentation to the board on Friday, August 12th, that none of the witnesses substantiated the special committee's claims against Bryant. Now that was interesting. So, okay. So she's now filing an amended lawsuit, alleged wrongful termination, because in total disregard of the investigators' finding of no wrongdoing, and after spending over $2 million of donor funds and legal fees, and then she names members of the special committee, led a charge to remove Bryant from the BOD and terminate her employment as CEO. Let's see. When it was time to vote on these motions, Ms. Bryant was absent from the meeting, having been removed from the proceedings and not allowed to respond to the investigation results or have a vote on her removal from the board. So that's interesting, right? So like, if y'all remember that show Silicon Valley, I think, did they do an episode on that? Anyway, but so what she's saying is, and this is my just CNC's interpretation, that the board did a vote. Now she was suspended at this point but not terminated, so technically, right, she was still the CEO and a member of the board, because she was terminated but not suspended. So what she's saying is that the board did a vote and she was not at the meeting where they voted to out her, and she wasn't allowed to respond to the investigation results or be able to vote. And so then within minutes after the decision, the organization issued a press release on Friday, August 12th, in which it was suggested that the allegation of workplace misconduct lodged against Ms. Bryant as CEO were founded, further defaming the name, professional reputation, and illustrious career of the pioneer of the organization. So what she's saying in this lawsuit, again, this is just my interpretation, that the board hired this independent investigator. The investigator talked with 26 people The 26 people said that none of the claims that the board said, the special committee said that Kimberly Bryant did were substantiated, basically saying, well, she didn't do it. And as far as I can tell, she didn't do it. Her name was Bennett. She won't in it, right? But apparently with this vote, what they're saying is that they were founded. So there's a discrepancy there, right? So just just tarnishing her reputation. And it just goes on to say that she's going to continue to fight, basically, because it says Ms. Bryant shall continue to pursue any and all legal to fight the abhorrent wrongs. All right, y'all, I meant to be highlighting this for y'all as I'm reading so you can see where I'm at. Abhorrent wrongs against her before the current board, BOD, destroyed the foundation and outreach of Black Girls Code and the young girls of color that the organization serves. So this is a lot, y'all. Let me do a quick time check because there was like one or two other things I wanted to share. Okay, cool. All right, not quite 30 minutes in. So one or two other things. So we talked about that. Let's see. We talked about it. Oh, yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So this is where she just retweeted about a week and a half ago where Black Girls Code forgot that Kimberly owned the URLs. So, but it's interesting because, Black Girls Code does an alumni summit, okay, where they bring back girls who have gone through the program or been a part of the organization. But one of the speakers or participants withdrew her participation in the summit due to the controversy surrounding Kimberly Bryant's termination. So I saw that last week. And when I saw that, I was like, ooh, I wonder if other people are going to start with drawing from the summit. Because mind y'all, today, so today is September 5th. And the summit is next weekend. So far from what we can see, one person has withdrew from the summit that I can tell. And then she shares the email here. Let me pull up the email that she sent to the board or sent to the committee for the summit. I'm writing to inform you that I'm withdrawing from speaking at the summit. This decision is due to the controversy around the wrongful termination of the CEO and that she's going to stick beside him. That's basically what she says. I'm going to stick beside her. So that's it, y'all. That's the latest news of what's going on with Black Girls Code, Kimberly Bryant's lawsuit. And I tried to be as succinct as possible. Clearly, this is not it. There's more to come. And I said I was going to try to follow it along as it's going because I feel like this is a precedent. And it's a lot of good lessons here for founders of companies of any race, not just Black women, it's applicable to anyone. And that's one thing I have noticed that Kimberly Bryant has been tweeting on her page over the past few weeks, like as she's going through this legal battle and just a very turbulent time. She's still sharing like lessons and words of encouragement and retweeting others about how founders of companies and startups can protect themselves, which I find encouraging, right? It's really interesting. So now that Black Girls Code, the organization, no longer they no longer have access to posts on the website. As far as you can tell, if you're not like on their newsletter or any like an insider, the only way that you can really get information is from their Twitter page, right? So I'm gonna try to find the PR release that they set out after she got fully terminated. Let's see, I saw it on my page. Let's see, did it come from BCG? Maybe someone else retweeted it, and that's how I saw it. But it was here we go. She says the organization says our website is currently down. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. Check back here for updates. Not only is it currently down, child, it is down. Whew. I was trying to find that PR release. Okay. All right. Probably somebody else may have probably retweeted it. Someone else in tech probably retweeted it, and that's where I saw it. Let's see if I can follow it. Let's see if I can Google it right quick. Girl code press release August 2022, because we want the latest one. Oh, here it goes. Is this it? I think this might be it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, this is it. Okay. So Black Girls Code brings legal action against former CEO and founder Kimberly Bryant. And it's PR speak, right? So it's talking about how the organization is bringing legal action against the former CEO. Talks about which court and all of that. The complaint alleges that Ms. Bryant took a series of inappropriate actions following her termination, including the unlawful hijacking of the website. Now, again, and hold on, because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't claim to be one. But like, if you own something and it's legally yours, right, and a website and all of that, intellectual property, is it unlawful? I don't know, y'all. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But I'm like, but she owned it. How can it be unlawful if she owned it? Anyway, including an unlawful hijacking of the BCG website and redirecting site visitors to her own website, which we just saw, which makes several false and misleading statements. BCG is currently taking action to restore its web presence, and in the meantime, is providing information to interested parties via its Twitter account. The complaint seeks various forms of relief to prevent Ms. Bryant from continuing to cause harm to the organization. Then they go on to talk about how the organization is in a strong position, has served more girls this summer than ever before. I wonder, is that real? Okay. With several 2-week summer camp programs for girls across the country, including New York City, Oakland, Detroit, and ATL. It talks about how, the students learn in leadership lessons and teamwork skills, and how the organization helps the girls. Then it gives just an about. It's a lot, y'all. This is so unprecedented, and I am so locked in to following this story, because there's not a lot of there are Black women in tech. We know that, right? But I think, again, this is something very unprecedented, and there's a lot of good lessons in there for no matter, how you identify. That's why I'm going to continue following this news story. To my folks on TikTok, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the likes, and just the comments. I appreciate that. If you want to go see the documents that I shared, the articles and things like that, come over to, I'm about to end the live stream on YouTube, but the video will be on the YouTube channel, same name. So I'm going to go ahead and end. And hello. Okay. Hey, y'all. All right. I'm about to end the TikTok. So for folks on TikTok, I'm going to end the live because we're wrapping up here on YouTube. So yeah, I'm going to continue following this story as much as I can. I saw the news when it about the website and the lawsuit last week, but last week was really busy. I'm also going to leave a link to the previous 2 videos I did on the story, and also a link to the Afrotech article. I think TechCrunch also did an article with Heather House as well. We didn't review that, but it is out there if you're interested in seeing that. So yeah, y'all, that's it. As always, I'll leave my contact information in the description. Thank you for watching this far, and I'll see you in the next video.